Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully everyone's having a great night out there. Hi, Nana. Hi, Rodney. Charlene. Rodney. Debbie. Rachel. Andrea. Greg. Aretha. Sandra. Joe. Deborah. Jeff. Gina. Minnie. How you guys all doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are having a great night, like I said. A lot going on in the world. Hopefully nobody has to deal with it, except for us, but unfortunately. White House is insisting the economy is strong, even though allies and the world see the uneasiness about what the Fed's doing. Our economy is getting crushed. Literally. The dollar is closest to its biggest monthly loss against the yen in 2 years. As the Feds hike interest rates aggressively, I mean, we should be well above them. My mic's not messed up. I did it on purpose. But, yeah, switch it back real quick for you guys. There we go. That sound better for you? All right. But it is ridiculous watching what's happening. The U.S. economy is in shambles. The U.S. economy has shrunk for the second quarter in a row, raising recession fears. I mean, recession is here. It's not a fear of recession. We're already in it. Just because nobody wants to call it, I am. U.S. banks, of course, the U.S. economy shrank from April to June for a second straight quarter, contracting 9% of its annual pace. People should be afraid of a recession because we're in it. I hate to tell you. You don't believe me? I mean, you can listen to the decline that the Consumer Department reports. The gross domestic profit broadcast the gauge of the economy. I mean, following a 1.6% drop in January through March and a 9% drop or 0.9% drop now, this is ridiculous. It's time to get our country back under control. Biden's not doing it. Consumer spending is slower because Americans are buying fewer goods. They can't afford more goods. The cost of prices of goods is ridiculous. I mean, Federal Reserve series of interest rates are clobbering home construction, which shrank at almost 14% already this year. 14% less homes are being built right now. And that's just the beginning. We're seeing layoffs everywhere throughout the U.S., from Shopify to Tesla. A wave of layoffs is sweeping through the American business. And the cuts stem from slowing growth businesses to paired for rising labor costs, mortgage lenders, digital payment processing, and all that are causing more layoffs. I mean, real estate alone, RE/MAX, slashed 17% of its workforce on realtors. 17%. Even laying off traditional resistant companies like Netflix have made cuts. Companies announcing a ridiculous pandemic-era boom like Shopify are cutting hundreds of jobs. It's twofold. The reason behind this, while labor costs are increasing, business is slowing its growth. I mean, there is no way to say it other than America is falling apart. Shopify firing around 1,000 workers. Even 7-Eleven, 880 jobs cut, without a question. Venmo cutting 6% of its workforce. Tesla, of course, very, very slow layoff for them. Only 220 people so far laid off through Tesla. Rivian cutting 880 people, we already know. GoPuff, 10% of its staff for GoPuff. Just ridiculous. Microsoft laying off at least 1% of its workers. JP Morgan, over 1,000 workers. These numbers may seem high, but when you look at what Amazon is laying off, Amazon is shedding a record 99,000 employees after overstaffing warehouses and will slow office hiring. Amazon is cutting 1,000 people out of the workforce. 1,000 people out of the workforce. Amazon is. I mean, they may be employing 1.5 million people around the world, Sorry, I got to hang up on this group call I was in because somebody doesn't have their mic muted. But overstaffing its warehouses during the pandemic, which was heavily demanded. They're cutting 100,000 employees here in the U.S., 99,000. Let's be honest, not 100,000. Those layoffs are going to be detrimental to up and coming. Redfin cutting 6% of its employees. Coinspace, 18% of its workforce going. Carvana, 25% or 2,500 people getting cut. These numbers are adding up all around the country. I mean, people losing their jobs. They can't afford food right now. So what are they going to be at after this? Where are people going to go? How are people going to feed their families, and how are people going to pay their rent? It is ridiculous watching what's happening to our country, and it's falling apart. And the president is saying our economy is is perfect. I'm not talking about the company. I'm talking about the people they employ. But President Biden and his top advisors insist the U.S. economy remains strong. That's what he wants to keep saying. We have a strong economy. If we have a strong economy, then how come so many people are losing their jobs? How many people have to get laid off? How come the dollar is growing losing its value to the yen day by day? China is going through a bankruptcy crisis. But our dollar is losing value to the yen every single day. How is that possible? People losing their houses, people losing their cars, people losing everything. I mean, when the US dollar is losing to a currency that is in a financial crisis at the time, there is a problem. The yen's on track for its largest monthly gain against the US dollar this month. Dollar slipped 1.75% against the yen. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody wants to talk about what's happening. This is important because no matter what the White House wants to say or they want to make everybody feel, this is what's going to impact America for years and years and years to come. Raising interest rates right now is not a smart move. Even though inflation's out of control, it's not controlling inflation. We haven't seen the raise of interest rates stop inflation whatsoever. As the US dollar is losing value, and when it should be gaining value against any other currency, with the most aggressive rate hikes we're seeing, that should increase the value of a dollar. It's not happening. It's not happening. The US economy is done at this point. I mean, the House is trying to pass an assault weapons ban that is doomed in the Senate. It's utterly doomed. Of course, trying to respond to the mass shootings that are so out of control now. It's ridiculous. They're trying to take weapons out of hands of people that are in control and they follow the laws. Just take those guns away from those people. Even though the Supreme Court said they couldn't do this, the House is passing it. You know, it's not going to pass Senate, so we don't have to worry about that actually going through. But the point is, this should never even be on the books. It's against the Constitution. Las Vegas declares as an emergency right now. It has less than 50 days of clean water to supply its people with. And it's not just Vegas. Of course, the Canyon fire is not helping at all. That's, of course, taking up more water. And it's contaminating, of course, the river. Usually the city gets its water from. It's ridiculous. Everything that's happening. Price of fuel may be going down right now, but they are going right back up. Fuel prices may be down right now. Maybe down. Yeah, thunderstorms in Nevada desert. Yep. Arizona too. Arizona, Nevada, thunderstorms. It's crazy. I don't even know what we're going to do at this point. People are going to be without water because of droughts. We know there's going to be a food shortage. We know it's all coming, but the government wants to tell us, oh no, look here. Look at this puppet, the show we have going on over here for you to look at. And people are turning and looking. The state of emergency in Vegas is only going to give them $2.25 million in state funding to, of course, get safe drinking water to Vegas. That's nothing. Especially when the river is polluted with ash and they can't use it. Heat waves, thunderstorms, flooding in Kentucky. It's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous at this point. Of course, the U.S., is having to send an aircraft carrier and its strike group are heading into the hottest contested waters around Taiwan ahead of Pelosi's possible visit. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see them moving carrier strike groups, that means there's a definite visit coming to Taiwan. Pelosi definitely plans on going there, and it's definitely happening soon. As we see the USS Reagan and its strike group heading now to that area. It wasn't, of course, the South China Sea. It's heading up towards Taiwan now. And the Chinese has directly signaled that their direct statement today from China is to Pelosi, you will perish over Taiwan. That's what they said directly. Meaning, we will perish over Taiwan. It is ridiculous. And Pelosi's still going there. I mean, there's no reason that even Navy spokesperson Mark Longford confirmed the vessels were moving in an operation in the South China Sea and heading towards, of course, Taiwan. We know what's happening. Your son is on the... he was on the Reagan. Okay. We're going to step over the line on purpose on this. We're stepping over the line on purpose on this with Pelosi. And it's ridiculous at this point. The entire thing. China's economy, or U.S. economy, is falling against every other economy now. White House is saying, oh, we're doing so great. But layoffs are in the freaking hundreds of thousands this month alone. And you know what's sad is people aren't going to be able to claim unemployment if they didn't work long enough in certain states, or if they're on temporary layoff. It's ridiculous. It's literally going to look like a joke. China's serious at this point. We are breaking China's the own agreement that we signed with One China policy, and the UN signed and NATO signed. With One China policy, we are breaking it by sending Nancy Pelosi there. So if Nancy Pelosi goes to Taiwan, we're breaking the One China policy, which gives them every right to attack us. We signed it, they signed it. End of story. Of course, a lot of people are talking about, I know, the Ray Epps stuff and the revelations of Ray Epps and supposedly conspiracy theory with Nancy Pelosi. So far, I'm going to tell you this, there has been no real verification of any calls between Ray Epps and Nancy Pelosi. The FBI did not have him there as a plant so far that we know of. There's a lot more investigations to go through, a lot more information. Pelosi tried to try to push it out the window really fast. When Ray Epps about him being there the January 6th, dismissed that he was there at all to be a part of any of this right wing movement. I mean, whether he was there to promote violence or not, it's just Taiwan is opening Nancy Pelosi with open arms. They want their independence, and the only way they can get it is with the help of the U.S. He was there, and I think he was a plan. But whatever I think and what actually we can prove are two different things. But the whole rumor about him having direct contact with Nancy Pelosi through cell phones never happened. That never happened. All the phone records that were subpoenaed, even through unknown sources, it's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous that we still have people in jail for January 6th. Not a single life was lost due to January 6th. Not a single life. Let's be honest with that. There are people that died that day. Yes, people die around the world every day. More people died during the riots we had than January 6th. But nobody talks about that. It's just a provocative news piece that keeps going because everything that we've seen is Nancy Pelosi pushing her way around. And it's really looking like there is going to be Article 25 after election. Biden will be out of office, and Pelosi will probably be pulled up as vice president. And she will find her way into that presidency seat. Mark my words. This is the doom we face in America. It is sad what is happening around the world. It is sad what's happening here. Inflation is going out of control, not just here, but Europe. North Korea is ready for a nuclear deterrent. It has nuclear deterrents ready now. Food lines are getting longer. Food banks aren't even able to buy food at some point. Just one thing after another we have to look forward to. She was not killed by the people at the protest on January 6th. The only person that died as of the protest or at the protest were shot by Capitol Police. Exactly, by a Capitol cop. Yeah, I was live the entire day, the January 6th, the 5th, the 7th, covering every aspect of it. We watched them being let in by Capitol Security. We know Nancy Pelosi denied the National Guard coming in. They wanted to be there. She didn't want them there. It's just sad. It's sad seeing what's happening in the U.S. and it's destroying our nation. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get back to a point where we're actually one country again. We actually work as a union. There's two obvious parties in America now, and there's two very strong political sides to it. Limit Halloween candy. That's ridiculous. It's just sad. I don't know what else to say, you guys, other than we have a long time coming and it's going to be hard. Inflation is going to keep going. We're looking at inflation going up even more. So be prepared. Be prepared as much as you can. Buy meat, freeze it now, because right now it's looking cheaper because all this beef is having to be slaughtered because there's not enough feed for them and not enough water. As farms are being reduced the amount of water they can use. So if you have a deep freezer, even if you don't, you can go buy one for $100. I'm gonna tell you guys this now. Go buy a deep freezer and stock up on meat, because come fall, there's not going to be meat coming to butcher. Fresh meat prices will be skyrocketed by then, and it's something we're all going to have to face. Sad point. Stay safe. Stay tuned. White House, of course, is saying we're not in a recession, despite the GDP showing we are, and despite everything happening. Yep. You can pressure can beef. God bless you guys. I will see you tomorrow night. Hopefully we got some better news, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. I mean, it's not just us that is feeling inflation, of course, and food costs and problems with production of food. It is happening around the world. So you can only expect one thing at a time. We can only live one day at a time. But God bless you and have a wonderful night.